The last thing we want to do is we want to add a sheen effect, or you can call it reflection on the train, as if there's like the train is reflecting lights from the sun or something. The way to do that is, first of all, I need to go to my layer and then create a new solid. Let's create a solid layer. And then I want to go to the pen tool. I want to draw some shapes here. Just draw some shape that looks like a reflection, like maybe one thicker one and then one thinner one. So this one is going to be here. This is going to be our reflection. All right, and then we're going to just hit P on the keyboard, position property, right click, separate dimensions. So when the train moves around here, I want this to move from the right hand side to the left. So it's going to pass through the train. That's good. And then I want to duplicate another one and modify it slightly. So that when the train is moving, these two is going to pass through the train, something like that. And this is going to be our reflection. Let's just pre-comp it. Command-Shift-C. Let's call it sheen effect. This is called the sheen effect. So the next thing we want to do, just like the track mat that we talked about before, I want to use the train as the track mat so that whenever the train is visible, this reflection is going to be visible. So I need to duplicate this train layer, Command D, and then put it all the way on top of this sheen layer, and then set the sheen layer, the track mat on the sheen layer to alpha mat. And now you can see whenever this train is visible, the sheen is visible. And the next thing we want to do is just put these two layers on top of our train layer. And let's try to set a different blending mode. Let's set it to soft light. So if we set it to soft light blending mode on the sheen layer, this is what you have. And you can still see a little bit yellowish color. That's up to your choice. You can also change it to white if you want. And that's the effect we're going to get. Let's preview the animation. It's very subtle, but it's effective. It's going to help with the storytelling and make it more realistic. And the only problem I find right now is that, 1 second. If we zoom in, the sheen is, right now you can still see the sheen effect outside of the circle. So another thing we need to do, we might need to pre-compose this one again. The train and the sheen, Command-Shift-C, pre-compose to the sheen effect. And then change this layer blending mode to soft light. And let's draw another mask on top of this sheen effect to make sure it only appears within the circle. All right, so if we hide the ruler, that's our final animation. you can still see the speed line and the reflection on the train. And then we have the background moving and we have the bushes moving. So after we have this animation ready, we can export it to a GIF and share it on the internet. So the way we do that is, let's go to the composition menu on top here, and then let's add it to Adobe Media Encoder queue. To export a GIF, we need to have this Adobe Media Encoder, another software. And normally, like when we export to MP4 format or GIF format, we always use this because it's pretty fast. And when it's rendering, you can still keep on working other stuff in After Effects. You don't have to stop your work. And it's rendering completely outside of After Effects in a different software from Adobe, which is working pretty well. I don't know why it's verifying. Come on. Just one last step to export the GIF. And it's failing me.
Things always seem to go not how they usually go when people are watching.
Yeah.
Well, this has been awesome, Hongshu. And while we wait for it to sort of export and hit that final step, maybe I can pass along a question or two.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Cool. So there's actually a ton of really awesome questions coming in just around the life of a motion graphic designer, an animator, how you get started, etc. So wondering if you can share a little bit about how you got started in the industry. Have you noticed any patterns in what kinds of skill sets are most in demand or that people are looking for? Any suggestions on like how to build a portfolio or a demo reel, just about sort of that getting started process?
Yeah, definitely. So I was, when I was in college, I was learning, my major is graphic design, but we also had motion graphics. And, but we're only learning the basics, the foundations of animation, and also some of the After Effects. After I graduated, I work as a graphic designer for a couple of years. At the same time, I was also learning online because I really like motion graphics. And I was doing a bunch of tutorials online. I went to Skillshare to learn. There's YouTube tutorials everywhere. And there's also like other site that can teach you how to do motion graphics. So while I was doing my daytime like graphic design work, after work, I always go back home and then started my own project, like doing things here and there. So that's kind of how I put together my portfolio. Like I just mimic what other people are doing in their tutorial. Because like the good thing is for demo reel, you don't have to show the full piece most of the time. You only show like a couple seconds that's awesome. And then like with all the information online, you can actually create something that's awesome for like a couple seconds and then move on to the next project and then have like a bunch of awesome pieces put together, maybe like a minute demo reel. So that's how I kind of kickstarted my demo reel. And I just keep learning online courses. After kind of like 3 years doing my daytime job at doing graphic design, I feel like I'm confident with my After Effects skills. So I just quit my job and kind of like go out and look for motion graphic jobs, something that's titled like motion graphic designer. And luckily for me, there was this advertising agency. They loved my work. They didn't even like say anything, because for us designers or artists, like sometimes degree or university like doesn't matter. Wherever you graduate from doesn't matter, as long as you have good work and then you're you're friendly to people, and like most of the companies, when they're hiring, they care about the thinking process of your work, and also like how good you're doing, like how good is your craft. So my suggestion to whoever is just getting started is, I guess, just keep practicing, because these things, like I don't, sometimes it's simple things like this animation, I can probably do it in, like if I'm not teaching, I can do it maybe in like 20 minutes, but then a lot of people, like it takes time to practice to be able to do it for 20 minutes. It takes like years of practice, and sometimes you learn a technique and then you feel like you know it, but then the next time when you are actually needing it and you need to do it, you kind of forgot. So I find the most rewarding thing is just like not only watching tutorials or classes, but actually doing it, and then maybe put on my own flair, customize it, like whatever they're teaching. Maybe they have a storyboard, you customize it, you make another set of animation that's your own, and you can put it on your demo reel. So yeah, that's what I found most benefiting. Did I miss any of the points that you said before?
That was great. That was so great. Thank you so much. It was really interesting to hear how you got started as a student yourself on Skillshare and how you made it happen. How'd that last step go? Do we need to try it again?
Yeah, I was trying to, because like I think it closed on itself. So I already clicked it again, try to open it.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, let's just add it to the queue again.
How long does this step usually take?
Normally it just it takes seconds, but I just
Oh,
seem to have a hard time opening the software itself. Because like
maybe there's error.
if you have it open, it should be taking no second to render it out. Is there any other questions that you'd like me to answer?
Sure. So one of our students wants to know, do you plan to release more classes on explainer videos, like how to add music or sound effects to explainer videos?
Yeah, I'm planning on another explainer video right now, and it should be out like in a month or two, hopefully, because I have like a couple of projects, like different classes going on at the same time. So I'm planning to, yeah, definitely. For special effects, it's kind of different from like, it's kind of two areas. One is special effects, the other one is motion graphics. They intersect each other for sure, but like for me, I don't consider myself to be a special effect guy. It takes like a whole different skill set to learn special effects. It's really hard. I find it's really hard. But if you're into it, you can probably like find other teacher who are teaching special effects on the internet. I myself is not very good at it, to be honest. So I mostly just focus my classes on motion graphics, and especially for beginners to get started. So that's how I felt when I first got started. It's hard to find like classes that teach you how to do real projects and how to systematic teach you like the real, how to do the real world project. And yeah, that's that's beneficial for me when I first started to find like even a single class on Skillshare to be able to work on projects, real world projects.